Folks, we are joined by Tom, and Tom's full name is Thomas Ryan. He's the CEO and founder of Bigly Sales, the AI sales automation company. And he says close more deals with Bigly Sales AI sales agents. Sounds interesting, isn't it? So, Bigly's AI tools can provide ideal customer profiles, create personalized AI email and SMS campaigns, and in addition to that, set up AI autoresponders based on any trigger event and integrate with any CRM using their open API. Tom previously worked as CEO of Workbeast LLC, and he served on the board of Barton and Associates for over 10 years, while revenues grew whopping 1500%. He was also on the board of directors of Union Atlantic Insurance Company and was a minority owner of trike companies and reef dispensaries. So, as we prepare to delve into our conversation on the topic at hand, unleash the power of AI, artificial intelligence, to dominate your sales target. Here's an exciting twist. Let us tickle Tom's brain first. So, Tom, get ready for a rapid fire round of random words. I'll mention a few, and I would love to hear the first thing that comes to your mind in response without thinking much. Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
Okay, comes my first question. Curiosity.
Killed the cat.
Invention.
Necessity is the mother of.
Future.
AI.
Book.
Book. I'm reading right now, Invent and Wander.
Movie.
The Godfather.
Food.
Favorite food, pizza.
Same with me. Universe.
What universe? Well, the whole thing.
Next is leadership.
Leadership. That's a tough one. Leadership. Lead by example.
Role model.
Role model. Role model would be my father.
Wow. And the last one is success.
Success is the journey.
Amazing. And that was spot on. And thank you so much for participating in the first rapid fire round so sportively. So, Tom, there is one more waiting at the end of the episode. So, stay tuned. Folks, welcome to the Guiding Voice podcast series where we embark on transformative conversations for a better future. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, dedicated to making the world a better place through valuable discussions that add value not only to your life, but also to your career. And thank you so much for tuning in. And Tom, hearty welcome to the Guiding Voice. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. And thank you so much for being part of our journey in shaping the careers and lives of millions across the globe, and really appreciate it. So let's get the ball rolling. We'll begin with your success mantra. So please talk to us about the top 3 things that have attributed to your success so far.
Always be inventing. Always be working on something new. I think that something that happens to a lot of folks is they kind of get stuck in a rut. I've been doing it this way for 25 years. It's worked for the last 25 years, and things have slowly been changing on them. And then all of a sudden, their business isn't working anymore. Their life isn't working anymore. Something isn't working anymore. So always be growing. Always be reinventing yourself. Always be trying new things. So, I mean, that's the big one. Really, you can't quit, right? That's the other big one. Never quit, never give up. And finally, this is the most important one. Work on what you love.
Oh, yeah.
If you're not passionate about what you're doing, someone else who is passionate is going to do a better job than you.
Yeah. In fact, I've quoted the same thing on my LinkedIn post today. I quote something every day on all social platforms, and today's is more related to work on something really you are passionate about, and I can resonate with you completely. And let's dive a bit, dwell into your past. Okay, so can you share a bit about your journey leading from your role as the former CEO of Workbeast LLC to founding Bigly Sales? So, what sparked your interest in the intersection of AI, sales, and most importantly, entrepreneurship?
So, well, I've been really working for myself my whole life. I worked for a family business for a few years in there, but I mean, even when I was a kid, we needed money. I would go to the golf course. We would find balls in the woods, me and one of my friends. Then we would go to the end of the golf course, to almost to the last hole. We'd go to one where we knew people lost a lot of balls, and then we would sell them on the next hole. Right. So I was doing that since I was like 10, right? We would, I've always been, and I used to caddy. We used to sell baseball cards. So we'd get candy at Costco, and I'd go to school and I would sell it at Costco. So I've been doing things, since I've been a little kid. I was always interested in business, me and my brother, and we'd always be doing something. So, anyway, that's going way back.
Yeah.
More recently, I kind of grew up in the staffing business. I started my own staffing company and grew that to about 15 million in sales over a
Wow.
couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
And what I found was the things that moved the needle for us were automation.
Mm-hmm.
That the automation was the thing that added a lot of value very quickly.
Yeah.
And being able to sort a large database of folks, be able to click a button, be able to send them all an email or send them all a text message was very effective for
Mm-hmm.
us. And one of the few things that actually moved the needle, that we could say, okay, we have 2 million people in this database, let's sort it down to 100. And then I click this button and send them a message, and then we'd have 10 or 20 candidates for whatever job we were looking for, within a few minutes. And then we would have to go through all the screening, but that was really the thing that moved the needle. And I thought that I could recreate, some of these automations for other small businesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I really enjoyed, is building the software, building the systems. And, that's why I started this business.
Mm-hmm. So, Tom, what are some toughest lessons that you have learned as an entrepreneur?
Toughest lessons I've learned as an entrepreneur. Luckily, I like doing things on my own, and I'm very good at learning through getting kicked in the teeth. So, be careful who you partner with would be number one. If a partner has bad intentions, it doesn't matter what the contract says. They're going to try to put you through the ringer. So be careful with who you get in bed with, right? That would be number one. And especially these days, if you're getting VC money or you're going to do it, usually a lot of people say the first thing you do, find a partner,
Yeah.
right? And if you find the wrong partner, it's going to be the death of your business. Picking a bad partner, I think, has killed more businesses than pretty much anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be number one. Number two, listen to your customers, especially these guys with software businesses. I can't tell you how many of these software businesses, especially startups, that we've gone and tried to deal with, and it looks like they have a great product. Said, hey, we want to talk to you about it, and they don't answer the phone, they won't respond to emails, or you're actually using their product, and you're like, hey, there's a bug or there's some sort of problem. They won't even respond back to you. So if you want to learn about your product, if you want to learn about where you should be going, what strategy you should be doing, the more you talk to your customers, the easier that whole process is.
Yeah.
I think that's really in any business. But listen to your customers. They'll tell you where to improve. They'll tell you how you can do things better. They'll tell you, and not that you have to listen to everything they say, but certainly you should take it under advisement. And if you have a number of customers that are all saying the same thing, it's probably something that you need to look at pretty closely.
Got it. I think, finding the right partner. I did one episode with one of the young entrepreneurs based out of India, but running a global business. And she also mentioned and insisted on having right partners is one of the critical aspects of being successful in entrepreneurship. And I think I can resonate with some of the points that she mentioned as well. All right. So that's great to hear from you, Tom. Let's move forward. AI sales agents are at the core of Bigly sales. So, can you delve into how these game changing tools are revolutionizing the whole sales process?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that has been manual
Mm-hmm.
that can be greatly improved by automating. And my big thing has always been, how much can we automate? What's the best way to automate? And the more of these things, if I give you a task, you can probably do that task pretty well. If I give you 25 different tasks that you have to do, the odds of you getting all 25 of those tasks right is pretty slim.
Yeah.
right? So what we want to do is automate every single aspect. Anything that you're requiring a person to do and to remember should be automated away. And that's really what we're building. So we're automating outreach, we're automating follow ups, we're automating the scheduling, we're automating responses, we're automating any task that you can think of in that customer journey. We
Mhm.
are either we have automated, we're working on automated, or we're attempting to automate. So it's literally going to be all of the customer interactions. Certainly anything that isn't a face-to-face meeting.
When you do embrace the concept of automation, have you gone through some Lean Six Sigma training, or
No,
where did it
I
spark?
haven't gone through the Lean Six Sigma training. I'm familiar with it. They actually had a course at
Yeah.
my MBA program on it that I
Mhm.
didn't end up taking.
Okay.
But I'm reasonably familiar with the whole Six Sigma
Mhm.
concept. Invented by GE
Yeah.
to do quality control. Because if you have one part fail per thousand,
Yeah.
and you have 1,000 parts in your car, something's going to break every year.
Yeah.
Something's going to break all the time. So you think you have pretty good quality control, and it ends up being lousy
Yeah.
at the end of the day. So I mean, it's a great principle, but what I've seen is just dealing with people.
Yeah.
Right. So I've managed a lot of people. I've hired hundreds of people over the years, and I've managed hundreds of people.
Mhm.
And I've seen that it's really hard for people to go and switch back and forth from one task to the next,
Yeah.
to be able to juggle multiple different things, to get different concepts in their head, to memorize those concepts. So when you keep giving people more and more things to do,
Mhm.
they start failing at one or more of these processes. I remember back in the recruiting days, we would have a sheet we would give people to fill out,
Mhm.
and no one would ever fill it out successfully. No one, right? You'd have to be on the phone with someone for an hour to do it, and it was just there were so many steps, and it was complex, and no one would ever quite get all the information that they needed. I think that just dealing with people, and I'm talking the best people wouldn't get everything. Now,
Yeah.
now, if you're dealing with someone who's new, someone who's inexperienced, someone who just isn't very good, someone who isn't properly motivated, you would find mistakes all over the place. So, anything where we can take away that human element, I mean, I'm going to give you the punchline: the machines are going to win, right? They're going to
Yeah.
win. This is where this is going.
Machines don't drink.
Yeah, they don't drink, right? They then oversleep and not show up for work the next day,
Exactly.
right? I mean, they're not playing on their phone. They're not on Minecraft. The machines are going to win long term. So anything right now that you do on a computer, AI is going to be able to do better in 2024.
Yeah.
Maybe 2025 for a handful of tasks, but by next year, every single thing that people do on a computer, AI will be able to do
Yeah.
better than the best expert.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I think this is great. And now I would like to understand your leadership strategy and vision. So you, with your impressive track record, notably achieving a remarkable 1500% revenue growth at Barton and Associates. So please share with us some insights into your strategic vision and leadership style, which contributed to such substantial organizational transformation. What did you do differently?
So I think you have to set very clear expectations with people,
Mm-hmm.
number one. So when someone's coming on board, what is your culture and what are your expectations? Some companies, right? You look at Silicon Valley, they say, hey, our culture is we have beer Wednesdays, and on Friday you get to wear a Hawaiian shirt, and you know, uh, we don't want you to work too hard, and it's 35 hours a week, and some people are attracted to that. Some people say, "Wow, I only want to work 4 days a week, or I only want to work 3 days a week," and that is what motivates them. And that's wonderful, but I don't want them anywhere near my company. What I'm looking for is people who share our strategic vision, who want to make a fantastic product, who want to grow this company to a huge enterprise. I plan on being a unicorn within the next couple of years. That's our goal. Our goal is $1 billion plus valuation with the tools that we're doing. I think it's very achievable. And I'm looking for other people who share that vision, who want to be on board, who want some equity in that business, who want to see that business be successful and grow, who want to be here for the next couple of years. So I think it's very clear that you articulate the vision, that people are on board with the vision, they share in it, they understand it, and then they produce and they do what's expected. There's an old saying that I had, that you get what you inspect, not what you expect. Right. So you need to be tracking all of the things. I have a fully remote team. A lot of people say, how do you manage a fully remote team? Well, it's easy. You track everything, right? So for internally, we're using ClickUp for our project management. We look at every story that is given. We see how much work is done in a given week, what things are achieved, which stories, and I'm talking about user stories in development, where a user story would be a very short piece of a project that we need done. Add scheduling to this. Typically something that is a day or two's worth of work, maybe a week's worth of work. We break everything down to these very short, sprints, and then make sure the developers accomplish those goals. If it's for sales, it's the same sort of thing. We need to track metrics, right? How many calls did they make? How many people did they speak with? Out of those people, how many were qualified? How many bookings did we have, right? How many demos did we do? So everything is broken down and everything is tracked. And I think that is the key to success. The other big thing I have is I have a no jerk policy.
Oh, yeah.
Right. If there's someone who's a jerk on my team, it's more of a headache than it's worth. So if someone doesn't play well with the other people, I don't care how talented they are. They have to be able to get along and help their coworkers to make it a pleasant place to work and a pleasant experience. So, we have a no jerk policy as well. So I try to hire people who are helpful, who are passionate, who want to work hard, who want to achieve the goals that we're setting out to do, and then you track it to make sure they're on board. And if they're off board, you want to sit down, you want to talk to them, say, hey, these are the expectations. This is what we told you we were trying to do. These are the issues that we're experiencing right now with your performance. What's going on? Why is this happening? Is this, something that you want to be doing? And either they're on board and they get their performance back where it should be, or they say, I really don't want to do this, or it's not what I thought it was going to be, and then you guys exit them from the organization. But it's just being upfront with your communications and, making sure that they're on board. And then usually, unless someone just isn't technically competent at all, they either work themselves in or out very, very quickly.
I got it. So it's more about no jerk policy, and most importantly, setting the clear expectations. I think those are the driving forces.
That's it, and tracking it. And you have to have expectations. You got to be tracking things. You got to be looking at metrics, right? And then you want to make sure that people are achieving those metrics. And it doesn't matter if it's development or if it's engineering or it's customer success, or you should have metrics. You should be tracking them.
Got it. And a while ago, you mentioned about 2024 is going to be big year for AI, right? So I would like you to...
We haven't seen anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet when it comes to AI. AI is like the internet in 1995.
Okay. So as a thought leader in AI-driven solution, what trends do you foresee in the future of AI and its role in reshaping various industries, and particularly the one where Bigly is operating in terms of sales and also in the entrepreneurship space?
So I think there's two things that are going to happen with AI.
Okay.
It's either you learn it or you get replaced by it. So one person using AI can do the work of 5, 10, 20, 100 people. Right now, let me give you an example. we're writing SEO blogs. So if you go to an SEO agency, they all basically have the same pitch in the US. Their pitch is, we'll write you 2 great articles a week, right? You'll get 8 articles written per month, and they'll be professional, and they'll use the appropriate keywords, right? And with these magical articles, we will now be able to start placing you on Google for the particular keywords that you are targeting.
Yeah.
And for that service, we're going to charge you $2,500 a month. And it's going to take about 6 months, but after about 6 months, you'll see some progress, and you will be moving up the rankings on Google, and you'll start getting some traffic from Google that is organic and is not paid, which of course everyone wants. Well, with one person, we're writing 300 professional articles a month right now. Now, the person was a professional writer. They were doing this beforehand. They were writing their 10 articles a month. Well, now using AI, they're writing 300 articles a month.
Wow.
And they're good. They're good articles. They're high quality. In fact, they're better than the writing that we were getting before we were using it, right? It's better writing than the, so we'd hire some guys off of Fiverr, or we'd hire some people off of Upwork, or we'd, hey, look for, a writing student. The work quality is better. So people are like, well, AI, it's not perfect. No, it isn't. But people aren't perfect either, right? It's not that people are all perfect and AI, strives for the perfection that is all humans on Earth. I think it's already better than 97, 98% of the professionals. And if you're a luminary in your field, you're probably a little better than it right now, but probably not for very long.
Yeah.
And that's just what I see. So we have one person doing the work of what 20 or 30 people would do before AI in a given month. You weren't going to get more than, 2 or 3 articles a week written. Now we're getting 10 a day.
Wow.
Right. So that would be one example of AI with the writing space. It's the same thing, though, for everything. So what I see is, let me talk about sales and service, because those are the areas that I see. Within the sales side of things, there's a lot of, again, cold outreach. So if you look around India or Pakistan or Bangladesh, there's got to be millions of people who are doing some sort of outreach, for a job. And this outreach right now, they reach out in a kind of a semi-personalized way to you. Right. A lot of this you can see is already kind of being automated. That might be on LinkedIn, or it might be through email, or it might be through text or SMS, or, a litany of different methods. But you can have the AI write customized messages to everyone and actually respond as well in an automated fashion. So I would see, it would happen all the time, where I would see a couple of years ago, someone would write me a message and I would respond to it. And I would get an immediate response, and I would respond to that, and then I wouldn't hear from them for weeks. Well, the first couple of pieces were automated.
Right.
And then after that, the automation fell apart, and the human behind it didn't notice. Right. So if you're trying to do mass outreach, one of the big problems with mass outreach, if I send out 100,000 SMS messages, I'm probably going to get 10,000 responses. I'm probably going to get somewhere between 5 and 10%. Right. So if you message 1 million people, if you have a big database, you message 1 million people, you're going to get 100,000 responses. You know how long it takes you to go through 100,000 responses? Yeah. I mean, you need an army of people basically to do it. So the AI can automate 95% of that process. And we're doing this with texts and emails, right? That you can have the AI automate the outreach, automate the response. We can have it determine if it's a negative response. No, I'm not interested, whatever, and move that person off to the side. Or if it is an interested response, we can program it to either say, hey, call me right away, to send out a Calendly type link and say, hey, book an appointment. We're making our own version of that in our app, but it's not quite done yet, to basically give them the next step of the process. We can have the AI ask a series of questions, right? So we're dealing a lot with people in the home services space right now. And, maybe you want to know, first off, do you own your home? Right? Are you the owner? because if they're not the owner, you can't send some go in and do work at a place without permission of the owner.
Yeah.
So we can have it, ask some questions again over text, over email, go back and forth, get those basic answers. Another huge use case for this is on the service side. So we're actually building out an SDK that's going to integrate with Zendesk, where if you're a big software company, I don't know if you've seen this, but what usually happens is you go to like their help center and you're like, hey, I'm having this problem. And they're like, oh, let me send you 7 different articles that may or may not be helpful, right? That have some of the keywords that you used in your sentence, here. So you used the word billing, right? Here is what happens if your credit card doesn't work. Here is something else that could be wrong. And they send you some articles. And I know my personal experience is none of them are ever relevant. And I typically don't want to read 20 pages of documentation if I have a simple problem. I just want it solved, right? So the AI can come in and can actually take all of your documentation. ChatGPT now, you can put up to 300 pages of documentation in there. And we sit on the shoulders of giants, right? We integrate with Claude, we integrate with ChatGPT. We integrate with these other platforms that have literally spent billions of dollars building out these products and allow us to build a front end wrapper for these to do wildly useful things at scale, right? So now you can go and have the AI actually go and you say, hey, this is Naveen, I'm having this problem. It says, hi, Naveen, what can I do to help? And you'll say, well, I'm experiencing this issue. And it'll say, have you tried this? And it can walk you through the answer. If there's some sort of order management system or something like that, you can hook it to the order management system, right? You can just build out some webhooks and literally have it check to see if there's any events that are there. So the AI is going to be massively useful for any sort of customer support type things. I think it's going to replace level 1 support pretty much everywhere within the next year.
Indeed.
I mean, it should do it pretty much everywhere. That whatever they're using, that it's going to be able to get rid of that human element of the level 1 support of all the stuff. Hey, what hours are you guys open? What's your return policy? I'm having this issue. I'm having a login problem. I'm having this problem. I'm having that problem. That it should be able to handle all of those things without the use of a human.
Yeah.
And handle it better than you can right now. Handle it almost instantaneously versus, hey, it's after hours. It's past 5. Why don't you talk to us tomorrow at 9 a.m. when you're at work? Right. So it's going to be a huge step up. The other thing that we're working on right now that I know a lot of people are working on is to actually do AI with voice. So right now there's a company called 11 Labs. You can clone any voice you want using their technology. And you can splice it, you can mix them together. So I can say, hey, I'm going to do a voice. I'm going to do a mix of Barack Obama and Morgan Freeman. And that is going to be my voice for dealing with senior citizens. Right? It's going to sound calming and deep, and that you can basically build any voice that you want. I was going to do another one, the Elizabeth Hurley, right, and then test it out to see which works better. With those voices, you already have people doing kind of an IVR type solution, where the AI will listen to what's said and it will play back one of 100 or 1,000 different pre-recordings. What we're working on is actually using Whisper to link this up to ChatGPT and be able to give real-time AI responses for any question, query, etc., and also use it to be able to do form fills. So let's say you're trying to sign someone up for Medicaid. So the AI is going to be able to field phone calls is the long and short of it. If you have a form like Medicare, it's a massive form. It might be a 5-page form. So you can we're working right now on teaching the AI to go and fill out that form, that someone can go and start rambling off about something else, and then it will bring them back to the next question on that form. and be able to go through it and be able to answer all those questions. So anything where you need to gather some data from a person, anything that is kind of a simple standardized form, that's what we're working on first. At least you're going to be able to use the AI to fill that out. So that's one of the big things. The other thing, of course, is any written documentation.
Yeah.
So I have an AI group down here in Miami, and pretty much everyone is building a company around AI who's there. And one guy's they're dealing with truckers. They'll get the forms for the deliveries that are sent from the truckers. The AI will read all the information that's on that form. It'll automatically fill that stuff out. It used to take 20 minutes every time you did one.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a big deal. But if you get 1,000 of them a day, right, that's 20,000 minutes a day. That's a lot of human capital, right?
Yep.
So you can literally have the AI take any sort of documentation like that and fill forms with it, do routes to do whatever. So I see everyone in the trucking and shipping industry using some sort of solution like that over the near term. I see every major company using the AI to handle any sort of level 1 support type things that need to be done. I see it being done for any sort of form fills that need to be done for a company, any sort of surveys, anything like that. So once you start adding all these things up, these are a huge number of jobs.
Yeah.
And if people are handling these things, all of the call-in level 1 support, I can tell you, locally, I've talked to Comcast here, and I've talked to AT&T, and a handful of other companies in the last few months. And I did not have a good experience. The people I was talking to, they didn't really, know what they were talking about. The phone calls were very long. To get to the right place took a long time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might have to talk to 3 or 4 different people. You talk to someone for 5 minutes, and they're like, "Oh, after talking to you for 5 minutes, I now realized I'm not the right person that you need to speak with.
Yeah.
Let me send you to somewhere else to start all over from the beginning." Right? So a very frustrating process. As the voice technology gets there, I see that all being handled by AI over the next couple of years.
Got it. I think you have also covered a few ways in which AI can be integrated as well. I think this has been fascinating. And Tom, what an incredible conversation so far. And it's time for us to add some more excitement, some more spice to the episode. So I'm going to kick off the second rapid fire round with a set of intriguing questions. If you're ready, let's get started.
All right, let's do it.
Okay, here comes the first bullet. If you could have one gigantic billboard anywhere with anything on it, what would it say?
Boy, that's a great question. I think it would say something along the lines of "Got AI," and I would have it in Times Square.
Good one. And if you could swap your life with someone for a day, who would it be and why?
Swap my life with someone for a day.
Yeah.
Who would it be? That's a great question. I'm going to go with Modi.
Oh, come on. I nailed it. You'll get a lot of fan following of Indians across the globe. Love it, love it. And Tom, can you describe yourself in just one word?
Passionate.
Passionate. And okay, so if you are given an opportunity to choose between $1 billion lottery or the power of invisibility, which one would you pick and why?
Well, they already invented invisibility cloaks. The tech's already there, so I'll go with the $1 billion.
Fair enough. And what is the first thing that you notice in someone when you hire them?
The first thing I notice is how they work. I mean, you don't know much about someone until you see them work for a week or so, and then you can figure out a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And here comes the last bullet out of rapid fire. What is one electronic gadget or a fantasy gadget that you'd like to see or invent yourself?
Well, I can tell you what we're working on. We're working on just having a button that you click on your phone, kind of like Siri, that can be your personal assistant and do anything that you need, answer any question that you need, schedule anything that you need. So that's one that we're working on for our app.
Oh, wow. Nice. And I can't wait to see it and maybe call you for another interview once that is available in the market.
Yeah, Yeah, we're going to be putting it out there relatively soon.
Great. And that's a wonderful rapid fire round. I loved your responses. And let's flip back to the mainstream. So, what will be your one piece of advice to those aspiring to be an entrepreneur?
I would say just go do it. So I can tell you this business,
Mm-hmm.
I started it as a sending platform wrapped around a CRM. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's more of an AI business and a data management business, a data business. So the business I started, which I thought was going to be wildly successful because I had experience building CRMs and I've used them for, 20 years. And well, guess what? It didn't really work. And talking to the customers and seeing what's going on in the market, right now, this one is growing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So the big thing is just get started. Whatever you write down, whatever your projections, whatever your revenue projections, I mean, we're not even tracking the same metrics that, I made my projections on 2 years ago. So just get started, just just get it going, build something, do something, take that first step.
Yeah. So my takeaway is like you don't have to have a clear path visible to you. Just take the first step and get going. All right.
Hey, you can't have a clear path without taking the first step. You got to get around the bend before you can see what's ahead of you.
Exactly.
And generally, unless your vision is unbelievably defined and it's something very established. I'm setting up a restaurant for this type of food in this location. If you're building something in tech or in service, it could change dramatically
Mm-hmm.
as you start talking to people and hearing what they need. And you should have your ear to the ground all the time. You should be listening to your customers all the time to hear where they're having problems, because that's probably, if you do a good job, that can be your next market.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a better market than what you had to begin with. And when life throws you curveballs, which it's going to, now you can adapt much easier.
Wow. Fabulous conversation, and I enjoyed every bit of it. I'm sure it's going to add a lot of value to our audience, and I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. And how is your experience being hosted on the Guiding Voice platform?
I thought this was fantastic, Naveen. I mean, it's so much fun coming on here today and getting to meet with you in person. Such a prolific podcast host, who's I was listening to all the other great guests that you had the other day. I was going back through, the annals, and I mean, it's just so exciting to be here with you. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Pleasure to have you, and thank you once again for taking time out of your busy schedule and sharing your amazing insights with our TGV community. And looking forward to hosting you again in the future, Tom. And wish you all the best on your new product, and wish you all the best to you and your team. Really appreciate it.
All right. Thank you so much, Naveen.
All right. So, friends, that was our episode with Thomas Ryan. And before we jump into the fun trivia section, we have a quick request. And if you haven't already subscribed to the Guiding Voice podcast, please subscribe from wherever you have tuned in, because subscribing keeps you updated on new episodes. And also, if you have enjoyed this conversation and found it useful, please share with at least 3 of your friends or colleagues who would also like TGV, the Guiding Voice. Spread the knowledge and help others grow just like you. Now, let's talk about today's trivia. And today's trivia is about AI in sales. Having had amazing conversation with the founder of Bigly, which is leveraging AI and creating sales agents, and most of the stuff is automated. And I thought I would present you a few facts which are going to complement how the AI, the artificial intelligence, is used in sales. First one is about predictive analytics in artificial intelligence sales. So many AI sales tools leverage predictive analytics, allowing businesses to anticipate customer behavior and preferences, so that this empowers sales teams to tailor their approaches based on likely future actions, enhancing the effectiveness of their strategies. And second one is about voice analysis for sales conversation. This actually reminded me about sentiment analysis when social media platforms were at the boom. Like when the analytics was at the nascent stage, people started collating the social media feedback, pertaining to various companies and did that sentiment analysis. But now it has going the next level to the voice analysis. So AI is increasingly being used for voice analysis in sales calls, and beyond transcribing conversations, advanced AI tools analyze tonality, speech patterns, and customer sentiments, providing valuable insights to sales teams about the effectiveness of their communication and potential areas for improvement. And third is about automated follow ups and nurturing. So, AI is also playing a pivotal role in automating follow up processes and lead nurturing. And advanced algorithms can analyze customer interactions, like trigger personalized follow up messages, and even predict the optimal timing for outreach, ensuring that sales teams can focus their efforts on the most promising leads so that they don't have to waste time on every lead but only focus on the most promising lead. So this is all I wanted to share from AI in sales perspective. But if you have anything else to add related to this topic, I would love to see your comments in the form of YouTube, or in case if you have found this episode on some social media platforms, you can comment there as well. I would love to review your feedback, review your comments in, and probably present about them in future episodes. So folks, that's it for today. And thank you so much for tuning in and also for being part of our awesome TGV community. I would love to hear from you. So do not hesitate to share your ideas, feedback, topic recommendations, and guest speaker suggestions either through our social media platforms, or you can also email us at regardingvoiceforyou@gmail.com, and let's create content that resonates with you. I'm your host, Naveen Samala, a lifelong learner, and my goal is to have impactful conversations that impact not only your life but also your career. And until next time, take care, stay inspired, and remember the future holds great things because the best is yet to come. Goodbye for now. See you on the next episode with another amazing guest.